hardcore giant Ron Niemi joined this week by the future of wrestling's Bobby Rogers?
Well, Ron, you gotta admit it's better than being joined by Shannon Rose, whom, if he worked for free, would be overpricing himself.
Absolutely. But the truth is, Bobby, you're here joining the staff, the roster of IPW Hardcore Wrestling. You run the future wrestling in South Florida, the best indie in the state. We run IPW Hardcore Professional Wrestling in Northern Florida, the best indie in the state, in my opinion.
Well, Ron, you know, it's true. We don't see eye to eye, partially because I'm about 1.5 feet taller than you, but it's great to be here. As always, you are dressed for the occasion. Are you sitting down?
Everybody's got to go to the short jokes. I guess somebody's making money in this business, but the truth is I'm the hardcore giant Ron Niemi. This is my gimmick. The hardcore giant Ron Niemi. This week I'm joined by the future wrestling owner, Bobby Rogers. First I'm stuck with Aaron Royal, then I'm stuck with Tali, and now you, Bobby Rogers.
Well, Ron, the only reason why I'm here, to be honest with you, is because actually I was called by IPW Hardcore to be here, and I was actually going to auction the spot off on eBay, but my schedule did not permit me to put the auction up in time.
You sure that wasn't your kidney you were trying to auction up again? We got Jeremy Lopez, the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, facing off against Justice. He is the Florida Unified Cruiserweight Champion.
Well, Ron, you know, I always look forward to seeing the light heavyweights, the cruiserweights. I believe the smaller guys are always faster, quicker, of course. And you've got Jeremy Lopez in there, trained by Niemi.
Mamaluke, one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, trained Jeremy Lopez. Also having a hand in training Jeremy Lopez, along with Jet Jaguar, TMamaluke, and the Shane brothers, was the ODD Jeff Bradley, who is going on a tour of Big Japan Pro Wrestling to represent IPW Hardcore Wrestling in the World Extreme Cup.
Absolutely. You know, I'm excited for Bradley going over there. I'm looking forward to that. Hope he does real well. I know he'll do real well over there.
You look at the contrast in styles, though. You think about Jeff Bradley, who himself was trained by Hiro Matsuda and the Great Malenka. You think of hardcore wrestling. The truth is, he's one of the best technical wrestlers on the independent scene today, and you can see that shining through with the likes of Jeremy Lopez.
Absolutely, Ron. I agree with you 110%. You know, I want to say I'm really excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this match more than anything with Lopez, with Justice.
Look at the huge crossbow-like maneuver by Jeremy Lopez. That's why he's the NWA Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion. More moves than I can even care to try to call. He's got a counter for every counter. But look who we got as a referee in the middle of the ring. Jeff Peterson, who just takes a big shove from Jeremy Lopez and sends him back with a shove right into a big arm drag by Justice.
Well, now, you know, you should never lay your hands on the referee no matter what, regardless of the fact that the referee himself, Jeff Peterson, was at one time one of the finest light heavyweight cruiserweights in the state of Florida, possibly even on the independent scene.
5 minutes has expired. 5 minutes remain in this match.
The All-American Jeff Peterson, a former IPW light heavyweight champion. He's got his hands full in there right now with Jeremy Lopez and Justice. You see Jeremy Lopez with those huge forearms absolutely smashing in the face of Justice. But look at that huge submission move. That's where you got to look out for Justice. He can come up with an arm bar. He can take your leg out. He'll have you tapping when you think just seconds before you were on the offensive.
You know, like you said, Lopez is the NWA Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion, but if anyone could dethrone him, it could be Justice. I've seen Justice work. I've seen his matches. I'm very impressed with him, and he's got him right now, and he possibly could get a submission out of it.
Now, Jeremy Lopez has toured Japan with Osaka Pro Wrestling, and Justice has toured England many times. He's actually been to Puerto Rico. These guys are international superstars. IPW Hardcore Professional Wrestling is where Justice makes his home. NWA Wildside with Bill Behrens is where Jeremy Lopez is one of the best cruiserweights to come along in a long time. But the truth is, Bobby, FOW, IPW, Florida is the place right now for the best cruiserweight action in the business. Huge neck breaker by Lopez.
Oh, you know, on the edge of my seat there, Ron. Absolutely, Florida is the hotbed. IPW, FOW, Florida is the place to be.
Look at that knee across the throat. He's sitting there acting like he's taking a breather. He's acting like he's just trying to get his senses about him. But Jeff Peterson, he knows exactly what's going on. He's faced off with Lopez before. And what is the problem with Lopez spending so much energy and time on Peterson? Pay attention to Justice. Pay attention to unifying these 3 belts, and maybe you'll take care of business, Lopez.
Well, he's trying to take a shortcut. You know, he did have the knee across the throat. Was possibly a chokehold. Oh, Ron!
Where the hell did that come from? You talk about a kick out of nowhere and a huge, huge tornado DDT by Justice. That's got to be it. Justice covering for the title. Come on, Peterson.
Ron, you've done it.
See, See, that's the thing. Peterson, I might not like this kid, but he's always there. He does call it right down the middle. He might be trying to steal the gimmick of Fonzie, who unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, isn't on the IPW roster. But Jeff Peterson calls it right down the middle. He come back after battling cancer for over a year, and here he is now in the ring for IPW. I'm proud of Peterson. And look at this move by Lopez.
Lopez stepping between the ropes. He's got his legs.
He's got him wrapped in the tarantula, and he's doing everything he can to stretch Justice. He's bending him like a pretzel, and if he can't get him to submit, the one thing he's going to do is he's going to wear him down, dump him to the outside, and look at this. Oh, no, Justice is always thinking. Huge baseball slide by Lopez. He gets nothing but air, and now he's on the outside of the Pinellas Expo Center as the fans look back at him like he's a big blubbering idiot.
Drop kick right to the face. Justice off the second rope. Oh!
Wow, huge moonsault by Justice to the floor of the Pinellas Expo Center. You can see the crowd rallying behind Justice. You can see Jeremy Lopez knocked in the next week, but he gets back in the ring by the magic of editing.
30 seconds remain. 30 seconds.
Oh my God, big miscue by Justice and going for another moonsault. Slips on the top rope, and he's lucky he didn't break his neck on that move.
Absolutely, Ron. Unfortunately, that could be the move that cost Justice his shot at the NWA Wildside Junior Heavyweight Championship.
It's not that that's the most prestigious belt in the business, but the truth is, it is a prestigious belt. It gets a lot of exposure, and there's Justice with a huge roll-up.
10,
Come on, Peterson.
9,
just got done pulling
8,
over for being in
7,
Here we go into a bunch of
6,
near falls.
5,
No, Justice back on top
4,
for a
3,
2.5 count.
2,
Back and
1.
Pin.
But the bell rings. We got a time limit draw. We got a time limit draw for this title unification match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is officially a
Ball right
time
down the
limit
middle.
draw.
The fans want 5 more minutes, but Lopez will have none of it.
Hey, I'm Callahan from Tampa Bay's only wrestling show, The Steel Cage, on Sports Radio 1010 The Team.
I'm the Putz.
And this is the hardcore giant, Ron Niemi.
And of course, this is our producer, The Foreign Object.
Join us Saturdays at 11 on Sports Radio 1010 The Team.
We're the home of the Bucks, the and now
IPW Hardcore Professional Wrestling.
it's every Saturday at 11 on Sports Radio 1010 The Team.
You know, Bobby, I thought that last match was the best of the best, the cream of the crop of the independent cruiserweight. But now you got a four-way with Scoot Andrews, and as you see right there, the former ECW World Tag Team Champion, Tony Mamaluke, and 2 of the other best cruisers, or heavyweights, I don't care what you want to call them. There's Mike Sullivan with the beautiful ecstasy, and he's going to be followed shortly by the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. You're very aware of all these competitors.
Absolutely, Ron. I'm aware. Spoke to Scoot Andrews and Mike Sullivan. There's a history there. Both former IPW heavyweight champions. Scoot Andrews a long time. IPW champion Mike Sullivan also held that belt for a long time. And a match like this does not come along often. Not just here, but anywhere.
Scoot Andrews, this morning of the match, he had the cast taken off his leg he had a horrible break of his leg. The doctors told him they didn't want him to wrestle. I'd like to see her act like this is some big storyline, but the truth is, Scoot Andrews had no business in the ring, but he demanded Eddie get in there. He signed the release. This isn't an elimination match. First man that pins, first man that gets submitted, they're out. That's it. End of the match. The man gets his hand raised. No elimination, Bobby.
Absolutely, Ron. I agree with you. Scoot, there's no way Scoot should be in there, but you know you're not going to tell Scoot out of the ring. The doctor said he should not be in there. Broken tibia. There's no way he should be in there.
Tony Mamaluke, he's in there with Andrews. Mamaluke's been in there with some of the best. He's been there with Rob Van Dam. He's been there with Sabu. He's teamed up with one of the best guys on the independent scene today when he teamed up with, I forget what his name is. Can you tell me? Little Guido from the FBI. Sometimes I forget about people that are not on the IPW and FOW rosters, to be honest with you, Bobby.
And those rosters are so big, Ron. There's not many guys who aren't on those rosters. We both combined. Florida has always had the best talent. It's proven right here by Mike Sullivan and Scoot Andrews, and it's just phenomenal.
You talk about phenomenal. We drew 600 people to this show. Everybody says Florida has been burned to the ground. Everybody said it's been raped and pillaged. There's no way of bringing wrestling back to Florida. We drew 600 and we thought that was the best we could do. The following night down at Davie at the Rodeo Arena, you drew 3,000 fans. Florida wrestling is back on the map, people. FOW, they're taking over the South. IPW's got North Florida covered. Pretty soon, you don't know what we can do combined. Scoot Andrews and Mike Sullivan, Mamaluke and Daniels. This is just the beginning of what we can do. Look at that huge schoolboy by Sullivan.
Ron, nice exchange, nice wrestling out and Scoot. Almost a pinfall.
Sullivan's going to take opportunity when it's there. Ecstasy escorted him out to the ring, but he sent her to the back because he didn't want the hardcore giant Ron Niemi at ringside. He didn't want Ecstasy at ringside. This is a pure wrestling match. They don't need any extra gimmicks, and you see TMamaluke and Mike Sullivan. Again, like I said earlier, there's a counter for every counter. How many different ways can there be to put on a headlock, Bobby? I've probably seen just 6 right now.
Absolutely, like I said earlier, and I mean that truly. I'm shooting here, you know, when I say a match like this with these 4 independent guys is top of the line. You ain't gonna see this up north. You ain't gonna see this anywhere, a match like this.
Like I mentioned earlier, TMamaluke was trained at the Malenko School of Wrestling, one of the best schools in the history of wrestling. But there you see him, the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, probably the biggest independent star on the internet today. He's a big star in Japan. He's a big star in Puerto Rico. We're lucky to have him here in IPW.
Absolutely, Ron. It's a real treat for the fans. It's a treat for me to sit here and commentate a match like this with you.
But look at Mike Sullivan. He's not intimidated. He's not in awe. What he does is he levels Christopher Daniels with a huge lariat.
Of course, Sullivan's going to take it to him. A win for any one of these guys. You know, a pinfall over Daniels, a pinfall over Mamaluke. For any one of these guys, you know, it's going to skyrocket them.
Mike Sullivan and Scoot Andrews working together. That's not too often that you see that. It isn't too often that you see Mike Sullivan working in cahoots with anybody other than the members of 911 Incorporated. Like I was saying earlier, Scoot Andrews, he's injured. He shouldn't be in the ring, but he's in there taking over on Chris Daniels.
Oh, Ron.
TMamaluke misses a Hurricane Rana. Oh my God, Mike Sullivan, lucky he didn't break his leg. Gets knocked off the top rope by Christopher Daniels and unfortunately hooks his leg on the top rope. That could have been a horrible, horrible injury.
Absolutely, and you don't know, you know, Mike could be injured there, possibly not showing it, not going to let on.
See, that's the thing with these guys. Sometimes you think everything's fine. Sometimes you think they've had a hell of a match and that they'll be back the following night. What the hell is Mamaluke doing? That's what made him famous in ECW, is a total disregard for his own body and for the body of the person he's in the ring with. And there's Christopher Daniels going right to work on that leg. And there's a huge Japanese leg whip. And look at Scoot Andrews. He's in more pain than I even care to elaborate on. The doctor was right. What the hell are you doing, Daniels?
Taking the chair right down. You know, Scoot, broken tibia.
Yeah, and he's not healed. He has no business in the ring, and you see the referee, the mullet, Richie Rich. He comes in, safety first in IPW. Yes, they're there to try to get a payday. Yes, they're there to try to get a victory. But the truth is we don't want anybody injured. If everybody can go out there and do their job, Chris Daniels, he knows better than this, Bobby.
The referee's back and Daniels up. Scoot is apparently really hurt.
And there's Rasta Man coming out, checking on Scoot Andrews and Agent Steel. That's the camaraderie of the IPW dressing room. Scoot Andrews didn't give up. He didn't submit. He didn't get pinned. I don't even know what to say. This match continues now as a 3-way between Chris Daniels, Mike Sullivan, and TMamaluke because Scoot Andrews is being escorted to the back by Rostaman and Agent Steel. And thank God the mullet Richie Rich has got the presence of mind to keep this match going and can keep the crowd happy.
And now it looks like Scoot is back at ringside there.
This is about 25 minutes into the match. Due to editing reasons, we've had to cut it down because of time constraints. Scoot Andrews comes out and levels Christopher Daniels with the crutch. Mike Sullivan hits him with a huge slingshot face buster, covers him for the pin. 1, 2, 3.
I'm Joey Styles. Vince McMahon and the WWF don't want you to know what I know. I have secret sources inside the WWF locker room and inside the WWF offices. I have all the news that you're not supposed to know. Plus, all the news on your favorite local wrestling promotions. Call the number on your screen now.
Drive up to our school, your friends all look so cool, hanging by the bleachers. Your friends all stop and stare at my spiky hair and at my punk rock t-shirt. You are the girl for me. trip and then I fall, and you just stand there laughing. It wouldn't hurt so bad if you only had offered to help me up, and you are the girl for me. Only you can see me. Your eyes are not open. Yes, I am one of the.
Here we have Christian York, formerly of ECW fame, with his partner, which he doesn't seem to please with, Kamikaze. Unfortunately, Joey Matthews had come down with a small case of Trent push and couldn't make it to this match.
Absolutely, Christian York not happy, not pleased at all. He's got a shot here. You know, York and Matthews had a shot here at the Florida Unified, well, you call them the Florida Unified Tag Team title.
I call them the Florida Unified. These are the Florida Unified. The IPW Hardcore Wrestling and NWA Florida Tag Team Champions right there. Naftali and Dagan Briggs and the most beautiful set of breasts that I've ever seen on Wrestling 7. And she has a very good mind from what I understand.
Let me tell you, every time I see 7, she makes me go to full 9, baby.
Hey, Bobby, it's my gimmick to put over 7. It's my gimmick. Enough of that nonsense. This is a Florida Unified Tag Team title match. Kamikaze is out here absolutely marking out. He goes, look at me. I'm a member of a former ECW tag team. And his partner says, no, you're not. I'm stuck with you. My partner's not here. There was nobody else left to wrestle with, and they stuck me with you, kid. There was a lot of animosity in the back between these two individuals.
Absolutely, from what I understand, and I was back there that night. From what I understand, York wanted to go out there on his own. Of course, you know, you weren't going to have that. That's not going to be allowed. Tag team title match. And he's stuck with Kamikaze. Well, so he says he's stuck. Kamikaze, as far as I'm concerned, is a suitable replacement.
He's a hell of a talent. This kid has been coming up the ranks of IPW and all the other independents that he's been working for. He's a big risk taker. He used to be known as a mat wrestler. The truth is the kid has no regard whatsoever for his own body. And like Star Stevens, the referee in their match right now, he looked me straight in the eyes and he said, Ronnie, that Kamikaze, he one hell of a talent, brother.
Right there, you saw.
That was like a huge leg lariat type gimmick, leveling Dagan Briggs. Naftali, or Albino as you call him in FOW, who is now the FOW Cruiserweight Champion, managed by, who's he managed by in FOW?
He's managed by you, Ron.
You want to talk about strange partners. You want to talk about,
whoa!
Huge DDT by Dagan Briggs, where it looked like he was about to be taken out, but instead he reverses it into a huge DDT, tags in his partner, they whip him in, and they hit him with a huge double hip toss. I love Wrongful Death as a tag team. I think you're missing the boat by not using Dagan Briggs and his ample bosom manager 7.
Well, Ron, there's a lot of stuff coming up, and I actually possibly will get them down on the road. Maybe we'll make it the legitimate Florida Unified Tag Team titles after all, with FOW Tag Team Champions, the Vandals, possibly.
I'm not sure the Vandals want any part whatsoever. No, look, he's nailing his own partner, who's just happy to be at the Pinellas Expo Center, and he's still pleading with them. Brother, please, let me get my shine. Let me come in and get my shin taken out by Naftali's incredibly... Ooh. See, he's not afraid to mix in the stiff kicks of his own. Kamikaze recently absolutely punched Juventud Guerrero right square in the face at the Florida WrestlePlex. He looked him straight in the eyes and he said, I don't care if you're some superstar. I don't care if you're holding up the promoter for money. I don't care if you trashed a hotel room. You're nothing to me, and I'm going to punch you straight in the face, you luchador.
And if anyone ever needed a punch in the face, it was definitely Juventud. Right now, Naftali. Oh, another kick.
Again, what's with Naftali? Oh my God. What's his deal? Take it easy with the kicks, Naftali. Kamikaze comes back, picks up Naftali, gets ready to level him, takes another wicked kick. You got to give these kids credit. It doesn't, Bobby, when you were wrestling, when I was trying to impersonate a wrestler, it wasn't like this, man. We might smash each other in the head with chairs. We might actually take a cheese grater and rip our faces apart. I don't want anybody kicking me like that. And there's the blind tag.
You know, it looks like you made a comment earlier that York was hitting his own partner in his own warped mind. That's him making his tag clothesline.
He thinks it's 1 against 3 here. It's that prima donna superstar syndrome. He didn't impress the people at the... Oh, my... Huge spear by Dagan Briggs. He might not be the biggest guy in the business. He might only be a cruiserweight, but the truth is this kid packs a mean punch, and he absolutely leveled York with a huge spear. And here he is on all fours. I guess 7 asked him to do that. Oh, no, they're setting up another huge maneuver. Naftali... No, always thinking he puts on the brakes as those two powder. They're not going to sit there and get leveled by Naftali, the huge risk taker that's known for absolutely having no regard for his own well-being.
Absolutely. Naftali totally insane.
He is insane. I thought you were insane. You're the guy who has challenged Big Japan Pro Wrestling, anybody on the roster, to a respect match. You're the man that put your left pinky on the line with Big Japan Pro Wrestling. And there's a huge baseball slide by York. Bobby, what were you thinking? What were you thinking to challenge Big Japan Pro Wrestling? Jeff Bradley's going over there to make a name for IPW. I guess you're trying to get FOW on the map. And truthfully, if you're that insane to make that type of challenge, I'm on your side, brother.
What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking, to be honest with you. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking.
You're never thinking. You're good at creating controversy. You might not be one of my best friends. We might be at odds when it comes to the wrestling. We're not going against each other's promotions, but I'm managing Albino Naftali down in FOW, one of my worst nemesis here in IPW. But the truth is, if he's going to get me that FOW Cruiserweight title, which he did, I'll manage that kid to glory. I'll manage anybody in FOW from the IPW roster.
Nice suplex. Absolutely, Ron. Albino Naftali, one half of the Florida Unified, almost a 3 count there. One half of the Florida Unified Tag Team Champions, FOW Cruiserweight Champion. If he wins another belt, he may be the only guy whose weight bag is more than him. He carries around his body weight in gold.
I think he says he weighs about 99 pounds soaking wet with his pockets full of rocks. And here you actually see York and Kamikaze working together. I guess York lost his mind for a moment there and forgot he had a partner. But Bobby, you know something? I'm sitting here putting you over as being this mastermind and being insane. Last week, we seen you come out. You were the man that brought the big surprise. The former ECW World Champion, Sandman, who came in looking like a shadow of himself, who came in looking like he hasn't eaten a sandwich or seen the sun in about 6 months. He come in like a decrepit old fossil, and that was your idea of a surprise? For God's sake, why didn't you bring in Sal Balomo or Johnny Rods?
To be honest with you, at this point, I realized maybe Bob Orton would have been a better choice.
You kill me, Bobby. But the truth is, you came in here with the idea of trying to destroy IPW. I guess you didn't see Sandman. Oh, my God. Again, these guys, they don't care what they do to each other. They don't care if they break the other guy's rib, and they don't care if they break their own rib in the process. And there's Star Stevens, who is busy hitting his bong in the corner, there for a 2.5 count.
York dropping all his weight down on the chest cavity of Naftali Albino. You know what we call that? I call it the colon cleaner.
The colon cleaner, and I must correct you, here in IPW, that is the chestal cavity.
Okay.
And he takes over, tags in his partner Kamikaze, who comes in with some more kicks of his own. This poor kid's leg is probably been huge, as Shawn Michaels would say, sweet chin music. But he wouldn't say it because he's too busy at home collecting a check, doing absolutely nothing.
I love the way you actually legitimately do tell it like it is, Ron.
I do tell it like it is, and that's why I'm here to mention that Dave Penzer from XWF came straight to me and looked me in the eyes and he says, Ronnie, how come you only drew 600 people to the Pinellas Expo Center? What did you do wrong? And you know what? I looked Dave Penzer right in the eye and I said, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it had something to do with you guys canceling all 5 of your ridiculous XWF shows in Texas because you sold 24 tickets combined. You're an embarrassment to the business. Bobby Rogers, Ron Niemi, and our rosters is the future of wrestling and IPW Hardcore. Oh, huge tornado DDT. I went off on a tangent there, Bobby.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta
spinning
stop me,
DDT.
brother.
The spinning DDT, York. Oh, in comes Dagan.
Big forearm, and he takes out York and then levels Kamikaze for his troubles. He's a house of fire. Star Stevens is blown up. He's like, take it home, boys. I can't take it anymore. IPW exclusive bratwurst over at the concession stand's gone. It's been a late night. Come on.
Absolutely. I do want to make a comment about, I said earlier on, Ron Niemi tells it like it is. Dave Penzer, there's a guy who really tells it like it ain't.
He does tell it like it ain't. He's very popular for that. He come traveling down in the biggest bus of misfits I ever seen when him, Joe Gomez, Missy Hyatt came into the dressing room of FFOW, and they looked at the crowd. Oh, come on, Star Brother. I know you're half inebriated. I know you're in another plane, another dimension, but this is IPW Hardcore. We don't have a bunch of misfits like Dave Penzer hanging around trying to steal our heat. Well, maybe actually we do, but we just act like he's not there.
Oh, my.
What the hell do you call that? He got DDT plow right to the mat. Oh, but see, that's why they're the Florida Unified Tag Team Champions. Naftali comes in, again, when opportunity knocks, he's going to... Star, what the hell are you doing, brother? Tell me, what are you doing? Call it down the middle, but do it more in our favor if you don't mind, please.
Call it down. That wouldn't be down the middle then now, would it, Ron?
Well, it's close enough to the middle for me. There's Yorkie, hooks, Dagan, breaks, and... What the hell's he got here? Now, see, you can see the size and you can see the power difference in York compared to the rest of these. Wow, huge shit-out deal into a gimmick.
That's going to be it.
1, 2... Thank God, Star. Way to be thinking, brother. No, you got to give him credit where credit's due. York comes in. He's the big in the match. He's got Kamikaze, who he don't want to be teamed with. He's in there trying to take over the entire match by himself at the Pinellas Expo Center. You got to give him credit where credit's due. He is a prima donna.
Kamikaze, show reversal again into his own partner, Ron.
The lack of teamwork of these individuals is going to come back to haunt them. And here you got Wrongful Death levels York, roll him over, Dagan Briggs, 1, 2, 3. I know you're new here, bro, but the gimmick that we got going is the people really want to hear about Ron Niemi and see Ron Niemi. So just put me over. Just go with whatever. You know what? Just do what. Just follow my lead.
No, they don't want. You're not funny. They don't want.
Wait. This has been another huge week of IPW Hardcore Professional Wrestling. Bobby Rogers, I hate to say it, he's done a hell of a job. He is no anal Aaron Royal. He definitely isn't Naftali, one half of the Unified Tag Team Champions. Bobby Rogers, you did a hell of a job.
Thank you, Ron. It was great to be here, great to be with the IPW fans. And I conducted an independent survey during the show, and I found out that you don't have to smoke cigarettes, kids, and you don't have to get your eyeball pierced to be cool. All you have to do is go to IPW-Hardcore an hour or two a day.
That is the best website in the professional wrestling business. But right here on UPN, IPW Hardcore Recap, Ron Niemi, Bobby Rogers, you get to see it right here every week. But it's not like being live like May 18th at the WrestlePlex. You have got to be there.